Hello, welcome back. We're watching more Hunter x Hunter, where of course, just dealing with a little bit of radiation, nuclear fallout. This miniature rose causing a little bit of devastation, turning the entire surrounding area to glass and molten rock. The king probably seen better days. Yoopy and Poof actually coming to his side almost immediately, and finding nothing but some kindling for the barbecue. I don't think we're quite done yet with the Chimera and Ark. Especially since Gon and Nefertiti have jetted off. Hopefully to bring back at least some semblance of what Kite used to be. Whether or not she'll have to scoot off considering what happened. But, as always, the issue. The good guys having nuclear weaponry. And hostages. How's it going to go for Komugi? Now some of the fires died down. The black rose of smoke. It looks quite good. Any particular reason why the star here was a retelling and a slideshow? Did they use all of the budget in the explosion and whatnot of the last episode? But with the king a little crispy. Exactly how he's meant to be carrying on his role is in question. I'm thinking what happens now, though, because with the chairman gone, with the king fried, Nefertiti is elsewhere. Of course, the remaining royal guards are not exactly going to be all too happy. Probably. Well, maybe they're too distraught to actually. I don't like that face. Too distraught to actually do anything. I think he would need a drink. His throat might be a little parched. And it will be. He himself will do something. But is there something else up his sleeve? Ah, I see. He will give up himself in order to have the king live just a little bit more. Is he going to give up all of himself or just most of it so he stays as miniature from now on? Heal him from the inside. They'll do a little surgical work. I like that, being able to see his veins and whatnot, at least what is left. I would question how, but at the same point, you know what? Go for it. They're such a small scale that they are just hiding around. Although, if we do have the royal guards who can miniaturize themselves to this point and actually help out, if you can't even beat the king with nuclear arms, well, they just have to set off another one where all of the royal guards are gathered around as well. Excuse me. Well, he's seen the very brink of death, the end of eternity. The infinite regress. Actually managing to do what the guards are for. Actually doing something to help the king. Is there? Well, he could never go back to the meals that he was having before. I don't want to know what that little jolt of electricity was for. To think that the king would say that he is the most delectable of all. Well, I'm scarred. He's not going to be alone in the... How's he going to do it? He's not going to be alone in the feast. He has got to seriously concentrate. Is he condensing? Interesting. Giving a little bit of life nectar along with it. Was not expecting any of this. If I was, I'd be slightly concerned. I'd also not want to be anywhere near the office when they were recording the voice lines. Just feeding him drips of ambrosia from his fingertips. When did this show turn into some form of cooking show with cannibalism between the ants? Unfortunately, he needs more? How much are they willing to give across? Is it till the undoing of themselves? I mean, goes to show a little bit of what people are capable of with ultimate zealotry and admiration for those of power. At least they're having fun. Was that the mother's hand? I didn't quite see the shadow. I wonder how much of this is like metaphorical. He's given them his name. They are, for the most part of himself now. Is he finally going to feel slightly bad about how he treated her? You know, forcing his way out when he wasn't ready. The maternal love one would have for the parental love, but maternal because it was his mother. Love one would have for their children. This is something that I don't think either of them, or anyone watching, would have imagined. Unfortunately, it does mean that the king and everything that the chairman has done is rendered somewhat not obsolete, but it's definitely more tragic if he just walks out and survives like that. Ah, look how tiny he is. Yeah, he has definitely eaten his fill, hasn't he? They can live vicariously through him now. I I think they do. Well, it would be slightly difficult for them to guard him properly now, but he is. Hmm. What has he got to be confused about? There's just a mighty fight and a explosion around him. Is he remembering the everything he was going through for Kamugi and the bits and pieces he was putting together there before he got his name? Soka. Not one of a near death hallucination. Did he actually have a sense from the other side? He had a glimpse of the world beyond. Or maybe it was just his brain in its death throes. Huh. Well, if he has started anew. This is some more questions being raised. He remembers their faces from before. There's something, at least, a starting point. Even if you do it out of love. Well, answer truthfully, no hint of deception there. I mean, how's he going to feel about his royal guard becoming lunch? How they first came to meet, what the point of all this was. I mean, you've got to start somewhere. If you've got memory loss, you can't just expect him to know everything about the ins and outs and the starting point of everything. Temporary. Yeah, be that large glow you see behind. I mean, the king did want to have a peaceful resolution that didn't end in a fight, but he remembers the hands. It was mentioned in a comment though, but the fact that we have these bits of Nen which give people extraordinary abilities over the average man, and yet the vast difference can still be breached through technology, ingenuity of people. No matter what sort of skills and he will gain the favor. Oh. If he doesn't remember, then it won't matter if she just vanishes. Hopefully he'll never have to remember. But if he was to remember, then things would go wrong. Also, will the king sense that he's planning something? How strange, though. You've now got the hostage being not really a bargaining chip in some respects. That's if no one steps in to do anything. Since he's consumed parts of them, he now has their stuff. Yuppie's ability to transform doesn't have to take any specific He's got used to it, hasn't he? Any specific route or anything, you just go as the crow flies. Straight in that direction. Well, now Poof needs to play his cards very carefully. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to keep up with the king, so hold on tight. This has been kind of a shock, the whole regeneration of not only his body, but more to him. He's stronger than he was before. But now we're getting miniature royal guards. He might have a slight rekindling of his memory. I mean, the fact that the king has deviated from his path because of her, you understand why Poof would feel like this, but they're not where you remember. Ha! Waiting for him to return. Has her skills of premonition gotten even better? Knowing that they'd return, so have Duckle just waiting here. I mean, I guess having it embedded into her forehead, she doesn't need a crystal ball to tell. There's a little... they've got a friend tagging along. Okay, I like that, having that burst through the sound barrier and whatnot. Well, crap! And them now knowing the chairman failed in his task. We've got so much so many things rolling through their minds right now. The fact that, sure, the duel went ahead and well, it was fairly even once the explosion went off, but the king having lost part of himself, but also even before that was contemplating his entire place in this. What exactly must be running through like Knuckle or Kiddo's mind right now? Is there anything that they can do or should do? Well, the pieces are on the board, exactly where they go. I can't tell, but so far there's been so much subversion of what you would expect of a normal kind of battle anime that could be anything. Yeah, I didn't... Well, I did wonder how the king was going to be... not okay, but at least still in the picture for a while, having the royal guards decimate themselves in order to sustain him. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. Although what they've actually managed to do, kind of ingenious. Oh, I can split myself into minute particles. I just force them into your body and rejuvenate the cells. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I can squeeze his very life essence and liquefy it into a form that he can digest. Okay, yeah, we've seen him manipulate his body quite a bit before, so why not? Although, how much juice can you squeeze out of Yuppie for him to get that small? I do love the whole aspect of Poof trying to get one over on the king, to put him down a path which he sees as most fit for him, which includes the removal of Komugi. But the fact that Nithpatul is elsewhere, how is the king going to react when he's like, hang on, why are you doing all this, even if it was for his benefit? Is he going to be maybe a little more lenient? How far out is she going to get? Is Kite going to be repaired? Having us separate to all of this of what is going on is interesting. I just don't know where it's going to go with it. To be fair, that can be said for everything in Hunter x Hunter. Whatever you start to think would actually happen, oh no, actually, surprise. At least we know, it's not infinite, his power here. Maybe he would have actually found a way to overcome more of the deadly explosion and power of the bombs, but, he doesn't really have that many more royal guards in which to feast, so chuck a few more over and no more king. We've seen it as a test measure with one of them. It actually works. But with the king's plans of the selection and all that possibly now changing, he's got a new taste, is thanks to being fed the royal guards, is his own trajectory of what his plan is. It's no longer to rule over the world and every being. Is it going to be less or more harmonious, considering how much he was changing thanks to the Goonie player? And obviously the safest place for Komugi right now would be through one of the portals in the by Nov's little dimension world. Definitely less things to trip over, considering the structural integrity of this place. But also Poof would have no way of actually really getting to her, and then would he? I really, really regret watching part of this, though. I didn't need to see the looks of ecstasy on some of the royal guards about actually providing more, going above and beyond their role of just protection. Being a very little life force for him. They got far too happy about it. I mean, sure, being one with the king would be a prize worth eternity for them, but I just wish I wasn't included in that. There's another episode to go. I would carry on to... I've got several things I want to say, but I won't, because I want to watch the next one. Probably you do too, so strap in. If you've enjoyed, let me know. Leave a like and a comment on the video, consider subscribing, join up on my Discord. If you're not watching on YouTube, remember just to keep them playing in the background. It helps out my channel more than you would imagine. Not doing it actually hurts it more than you can imagine. But now, get another drink. Let's see what's in store. See you in the next one. If you would like to be the life essence to this channel, consider joining onto my Patreon, because we could all do with some gourmet food. So I do need to thank Noku, Raywin, Sal, Trayvon, Shiwan, Akne, Guado, Tori Jane, Kite, Lightwiz91, Mega42, Diego Zenhausen, SZ9870, Croyville, and everyone else, because they have managed to sustain me while I watch anime on the internet. I wonder if there's a dessert menu.